Volkswagen are probably one of the most popular car manufacturers, and they have been making the Polo since 1975. The first hot Polo, though, was the supercharged G40, sold in the UK from 1990 to 1994. After that, VW moved over to the GTI branding for their pocket rockets. That's history lesson over. This is the latest Polo GTI, and it does look rather much like a baby Golf GTI. The red in the calipers and in the grille just add to the sporty image. And then this bumper looks ready to cut through the air as you're zooming along the road. But we're not going to do that yet. First of all, we need to appreciate its practical side. It comes in 5-door, and the boot, it's a good size for a supermini. And the rear seats split and fold down to create even more room. There's space in the back here for 2 adults, really there is. Okay, so don't expect it to be as roomy as a Golf. I mean, this is the baby version, but I've moved this into the driving position of somebody who's about 6 foot, and me, who's 5'4.5", has got plenty of room. Then you've got somewhere for a child to sit in the middle. Did you see those seats? Wow, the retro roots of this car have not been forgotten. They're a real blast from the past, and a welcome one too. Technology, however, has moved with the times. This car has scored the maximum 5 stars in the Euro NCAP safety tests. It's also fitted with some really good equipment. For example, Bluetooth connectivity so that you can make phone calls more safely. There's also clever traction control to keep you safe through the corners. And then, of course, there is an abundance of storage, as you would expect from Volkswagen. So now, yes, you've guessed it, we're going to do the CarBuyer big bottle test. And it fits in the glove box. That's a pretty good size. There's also 2 cup holders here, and then in the armrest you've got some more there, and the door bins are large enough also to accommodate the big bottle. To get comfortable for driving, there is a lot of adjustment in the seat, so whether you're tall or short, you should be just fine. And then there is reach and rake adjustment. The first thing I noticed about this car when I started driving it was the noise of the engine. It sounds really good, and so it should, because although it's only a 1.4, it's turbocharged and supercharged, pushing out 178 brake horsepower, propelling this little beast from 0 to 62 in 6.9 seconds. That just encourages me to throw it through the corners, which it copes with much better than a standard Polo thanks to its stiffer suspension. And there's no trade-off on comfort, because when you've got your horns tucked away in the glove box, ride quality is very good. And I know I keep referring to this as a baby Golf, but actually it has a personality in its own right and can behave very grown up when you want to drive a little more sedately. It's also very good on fuel. It returns 47.9 mpg and has a very low CO2 emissions level. Unfortunately though, that does bring me on to the car's negatives. It's quite expensive to buy. The Skoda Fabia VRS and the SEAT Ibiza CUPRA are both cheaper, and they share the same running gear. Then if you're an original GTI fan, you may find this one slightly detached, and it isn't helped by the automatic gearbox. Yes, you've got the paddle shifters, but you don't really have true control over your gearing unless you have a proper manual, which the Renault Clio Sport does, and that is a lot more fun to drive. But many of you will be die-hard VW fans, and that isn't a bad thing. They're good cars with excellent build quality, and they're well known for scoring high in the reliability stakes. And for a supermini, I think this feels quite special.